through south central Kentucky, and we've got the alerts and advisories to show for it. A winter storm warning, an ice storm warning, and a winter weather advisory all across western Kentucky. I've got what we're going to see from this as we could expect for our Sunday, and look at the impacts to all of it. All coming up in WNKY News 40 at 10.
Thanks for joining us tonight for News 40 Weekend. I'm Noah Fairburn. Straight to our top story, cities and counties across the state are preparing for the new year and new political faces after the November election. The city of Glasgow is no different, as they swore in their 9 city council members this week, including 3 new faces. Elizabeth Shoemaker, Tommy Burris, and Randy Wilkinson will be the newest members to the city council, replacing members Patrick Gauntz, Max Marion, and Marlon Witcher. One of the new members says she cannot wait to get to work.
I'm very excited. Very excited. I think I'm still a little bit in shock that I even won. I really appreciate all the votes from the citizens of Barron County, and I look so forward to working for the citizens of Barron County.
Shoemaker adds she would like to find ways to improve the quality of life for Glasgow's residents and keep graduates in Glasgow rather than moving to a different city. Well, bad things happen every day, no matter what special occasion may be around the corner. And tonight we have just one story of one example of unfortunate timing. News 40's Michael Ridgway visited Hart County this week to a very sad scene.
Devastated. Everything that me and my old man worked hard for, my kids had, everything's gone. It's just a shell of the house like there's nothing left.
Unfortunately for Kimberly Jewell and her children, tragedy struck this December, probably one of the worst things that can happen during the holiday season.
On December the 16th, around 4:30, I received a call from my next to youngest saying that our house was on fire. And then when I got here, because we was Christmas finishing up Christmas shopping, me and my sister-in-law was. And when I got here, the house was already in flames.
Of course, like any home, it holds a lot of memories that can't be replaced.
My kids' baby chest that I had for them, but also my old man passed away a year and a half. He was the one that was found in the Green River. So everything that we had left of him was in a chest and in totes back here in the back door, and it's all gone.
Since the fire, people have rallied around the family, but Kimberly said she's still fighting a clock.
The community was able to pitch in and put us up in a room, and said we have till the 6th, and then we have to, we're looking for somewhere to go right now until I can figure out what to do here. I had no insurance. I had nothing like that.
This mother of 4 said at this point, she's just concerned about her kids and what they'll do.
I really just need a shelter for my kids, really, because it's so hard to find anywhere. You can't get into places like government housing or nothing like that, like real easy. That's the only thing I'm worried about, really, is shelter for my kids at home.
In Hart County, because local families matter, Michael Ridgway, WNKY News 40.
Thank you, Michael. Switching gears now, the Southern Kentucky Film Commission is celebrating their biggest year ever in 2024, bringing nearly $4 million to the region. Their 2 biggest projects were a music video starring Ella Langley and Wiley Green, and a Nicolas Cage movie called The Gunslingers. For those who don't know, the Film Commission is made up of the tourism commissions in Glasgow, Barron County, Cave City, Edmonson County, and Horse Cave, Hart County. And staff with the Film Commission are proud of the growth they've seen, expecting to see even more in 2025.
It is wonderful to show off our local area and be able to highlight it in a different way from the tourism aspects. But really the main goal that we have is bring economic impact into our local communities, making sure that those mom and pop shops are getting those dollars as well, and that really these movies are serving our communities as much as our communities are helping with these projects.
The Gunslingers is set to release in early 2025. Lessenberry says they plan to host a local premiere of the movie when it comes out. News 40 will keep you updated as to when that premiere happens. Well, if you're a nonprofit or if you know anyone a part of a nonprofit in 2025, you're going to want to listen to this. The Kentucky Nonprofit Network is providing new resources that will benefit nonprofits all over Kentucky. Tools and resources including updated principles and practice toolkits, group sessions that offer crucial support and information. We spoke to a KNN representative who tells us 75% of nonprofits are operating with budgets under $1 million, but the amount that was given throughout 2024 will increase the confidence in these nonprofits.
In 2025, we expect nonprofits to continue focusing on improved transparency and financial accountability, engaging more. Hopefully shows a growing public confidence in nonprofits and a willingness and ability to invest in nonprofits.
The total of giving is expected to increase because of the opportunities and tools given to nonprofits across the state of Kentucky. For more information on what you need to know in 2025, visit WNKY.com. Speaking of nonprofits, there's a new one in Scottsville you might not have heard of, but they're doing big things in Allen County. The Haley Sue Foundation was created by Stacy and Pam Pearson in 2021 after their daughter passed away. They started out in May of that year, providing a scholarship to her high school in Franklin, Tennessee. However, in December of 2021, they expanded their work to Scottsville, Kentucky, where Haley spent the first 8 years of her life. They provided Christmas for families in the community and recently created a sibling scholarship to help those who have experienced a similar loss. For her parents, it's all about continuing the work Haley Sue was passionate about.
We feel like, we made a decision early on that we wanted to continue to do the work that she was doing and was passionate about. And so we started this and we have been going full force since then.
While they mainly do work in Franklin, Tennessee, they're looking to expand their reach in Scottsville. To learn more about the Haley Sue Foundation and what they do for the community, you can visit our website. Again, that's WNKY.com. Well, having a child can be an exciting but also nerve-wracking time. Since COVID, lots of expecting mothers are turning to a more holistic way of birth. The CDC reports home births have increased to their highest level in 30 years, seeing many mothers turn to midwives to help with their delivery. Founder of the Bluegrass Midwifery and Women's Wellness, Amanda Petit-Woolen, says some mothers want more relaxed approach to their delivery process. And because of this, she is expanding her care to be available to those in Munfordville and Hart County.
I have a hard time honing in on the moment because they are doing something so mental and physical and emotional. So having a midwife and having a doula and having that kind of very personal care, it really changes how they feel about their birth experience.
The clinic offers classes for pre- and postnatal care as well. More information about Amanda's practice is located on our website. Well, the Hilltopper Marching Band went on a new adventure across the pond this week, participating in the iconic London New Year's Day Parade. Often compared to the iconic Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, the university says the parade draws over 500,000 attendees each year and is broadcast to more than 500 million viewers. The band received the invitation to participate in this prestigious event in September of 2023. This honor comes during a milestone year for the WKU Big Red Marching Band, as 2025 marks the 100th anniversary of the WKU Band program. And with all the hype surrounding the Big Red Marching Band, a few local alumni decided to talk to us about their trip down memory lane. News 40 reporter Carlisle Coppins has more on their story.
The year was 1973 when this local love story began. Two Big Red Band members were headed to New Orleans for the Rice Bowl, and once they arrived, they stepped foot off the bus and were inseparable.
By the end of the trip, we got off the bus on that New Orleans trip, Baton Rouge, New Orleans. We got off the bus, we were holding hands.
Pam, an extremely talented oboe player, had big plans that would ultimately catapult her musical career to the next level.
We had only known each other a few weeks, only dated for a few weeks, and then what did she do? She up and left me and went to Europe.
And although there was physical distance, nothing could come in between the love that they had for one another.
All that time after she left, I would just listen to orchestral music or their oboe solos, and I always thought of her.
Once she returned back to the States, Pam and Michael said I do and started forever together.
If you've been married for 50 years, you know there are going to be times. There's hard times and there's times you have to work through. And music is and has been a huge part of who we are. But the biggest part of who we are is our commitment to the Lord and our marriage being committed to the Lord.
The faithfulness in the relationship wasn't just experienced between one another. It was also seen by their children and their children's children.
Well, we first started playing as a family when the girls were really little, and we lived in Minnesota. The youngest one said, you've been faithful to each other, and that was modeled to us.
This unique relationship is built on a solid foundation that is expressed through their love for one another and music.
I told her just the other day, I can't imagine where I'd be today without her. She's just a part of me. And the fact that the Lord brought us together and that we were able to communicate together, not just with words, but through music. There's just a lot of communication that happens that doesn't require words.
Now these two are still fulfilling their love for music in the Orchestra of Kentucky, and this local love story is making a long-lasting impact on so many lives.
Thank you, Carlisle. Now it's time for your weekend pet of the day, brought to you by Morgantown Bank and Trust. And this weekend, we'd like you to meet Lincoln. Lincoln has a heart as big as his paws, and it shows because he loves to give hugs. He's also a calm and gentle giant, and while he's still being house-trained, he is kennel-trained. Whether it's cuddling on the couch or playing fetch, he's ready to bring joy and excitement to any home. You can adopt Lincoln today at the Bowling Green, Warren County Humane Society. Still to come on News 40 Weekend, we look at how communities in South Central Kentucky celebrated the new year. Plus, we've got a look at your weekend forecast and an update on the winter storm that's making its way to the area. That's coming up next.
The News 40 weather app, now available for your Apple and Android devices. Driven by Greenwood Ford Lincoln Mobile Service.
When you need on our Sunday in just a moment, but today, looking at today's numbers, we reached up to 36 degrees. Normal right around 46 degrees, only a 10 degree spin, but we've got a more closer to normal temperature in our low from this morning, and our high could be near that normal number. We'll talk about and what that will do for our wintry mix in just a little bit. As for those alerts and advisories, we've got the winter weather advisory for areas south of our region here, moving from Hopkinsville to Bowling Green to Edmonton, and then those areas north of there, winter storm warning into the more eastern parts, and then an ice storm warning into those more western parts, reaching into Indiana and Illinois and some parts of Missouri as well. Once we look into our first model here, we're going to be seeing a chance for some little small scattered snow showers into those early morning hours, right around 3:30 a.m. But then when it's really going to start is right around 6:30 to 7:30 a.m. And then we'll be left with mainly just some snow as this model shows, and then we're going to transition right around our afternoon into more of a wintry mix, though we do see some storms just below the Kentucky-Tennessee border. And really what could happen here is if the temperature reaches near 50 degrees, we're going to be looking at more rain than anything here in South Central Kentucky. But it really, what's driving our afternoon chances for what precipitation we will see into our afternoon is really driven by that air temperature. Then we move on to the rest of the day, 37 degrees at 7:30, as we do look at possibility of a little bit of a break from all this until we do go into our Monday, mainly looking at snow for our Monday as we forecast this time out this forecast. And now looking at another model, get a little bit more of a broad view here. The high pressure moving over towards the east, bringing in the low pressure, bringing in wintry mix right around 11:30 a.m. tomorrow morning, those late hours of the morning. And then this one transitioning into more storms and rain, and those as we just talked about just a minute ago, and then that moving through. And what we've got agreement here is snow is what we're going to be looking at for mainly Monday, and then that'll move out sometime during the Monday afternoon, and we'll be left with just clouds. As for the winter weather impact, which Chris talked about last night at the 10 o'clock, we were looking at more of a moderate weather impact. It's more of a minor impact, though this still could impact your travel and the power grid for that matter, as this forecast could still change. We're still 6 to 8 hours from that, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it could still change. And then we look at the accumulating ice impacts. What our area is looking at is for these first two here, as I step out of the way for just a second, we're looking at maybe less than 1/10 of an inch to maybe 1/4 of an inch of ice, which is not a lot if we were talking about snow, but this could really affect the travel conditions, as we could see roads and bridges become slippery and very treacherous to go through. Stay weather aware with the WNKY News 40 weather app, as we're going to keep it updated, up to date with those closing in delays and current conditions, as well as those severe weather alerts. As for tonight, we'll be right around 26 degrees, increasing clouds, and that snow starting between about 3:30 and 5 a.m. with the winds east at 6 to 11 miles an hour. And then we look through these next 7 days. 42, this could be a little bit warmer for our Sunday before we do cool down even more, down to the 30s for Monday, Tuesday, and then up into those upper 20s for Wednesday and Thursday before we do return to those 30s for Friday and Saturday, with that slight chance for some rain, maybe even some snow for Friday coming along.
WNKY.com. We're always on.